Yes, it is. No, it really is.
Yeah.
They're putting up a strong Zerg player right now in Ryze. I'm ready to get things started. Are you good to go?
I'm ready as well.
Okay, here we go. Take it away for us.
All right, so we have compLexity's Ryze, the blue Zerg, at the top right-hand corner here on Xel'Naga Caverns. Pretty close map here. This is one of the maps in the competitive pool that is still used that I would consider as probably the smallest map. And we have Rain Perfect, the dark green teal Protoss. I don't know which color it is. I always have issues with that, but he's going to be at the bottom left-hand corner. And we're going to have a Protoss versus Zerg here to start things off.
Now, you mentioned Xel'Naga Caverns as being the smallest map. Do you remember way back in the day when everyone was like, Xel'Naga, when they were like, Xel'Naga's so big, it's almost like it's a 4-player map. And then you look at the crevasses and the terminuses and the Tal'Darim altars of today, and no, it's not a big map.
Do you remember the smallest map that was in the ladder pool, Steps of War?
Oh, do I remember Steps of War?
That map was insane.
The correct answer is, how many people did I bunker rush on ladder? That's the real question. Steps of War.
I 7-pulled my way to Diamond on Steps of War. Yes, I 7-pulled my way. Yes, I did it. I did it. But that was a map that was just a disaster unless you love to play cheesy games. But yeah, this is going to be Xel'Naga Caverns. It is a pretty small map, but in terms of Zerg versus Protoss, I think it's a pretty balanced map for ZVP, and I think it has the potential to obviously go into the late game as well, despite its small size.
And Ryze looks like he's saving up some resources now. It looks like probably 15 hatch going to be coming out of him pretty soon.
That is really bold if he goes for 15 hatch.
Yeah, saving up for it. Oh, there he goes. Okay, he just went over 225 minerals and then tried to trick me. That's okay.
Yeah,
Spawning pool coming down.
He was actually giving me a little bit of a heart attack there. I mean, honestly, any Zerg these days.
Got the defibrillator ready.
Really?
Yeah.
CPR? Are you CPR certified?
I'm ready to go. No, I'm not.
Oh,
you're pretty much screwed if you go down.
If you want.
If you go down, you're screwed. I'm sorry.
Well, hey, anytime I see a Zerg go for that 15 hash, it's so scary because in today's metagame, and I hesitate to use that word because Chill will probably kill me, but if you go for the 15 hash, it's very, very hard to hold off a Protoss that builds pylons and cannons at that natural. So these days, you don't see Zerg do that too often anymore.
And Ryze does have his spawning pool just about to finish. I'm really curious to see what Perfect does. He is dropping down the assimilator. Now, I know you've talked about that a lot of people are going 1-gate expos versus the traditional 3-gate expo, but with the second gas coming down, it does look like we're going to have a 3-gate sentry expand.
Yeah, it looks like we will see a 3-gate sentry expand. There is a Zealot coming out right away. That's pretty standard. You always get that Zealot to block off the ramp. It's a very telltale sign when that second unit comes out of the gateway, whether it be a sentry and a stalker. Stalker is more, I guess you can deduce from that it's going to be more aggressive, and a sentry usually means that they are going to go for an expansion style play.
And right now, Ryze makes his way back out with that poor drone that was scouting around. He got the information that he needed, and already, looks like Ryze is going to pursue this probe. Poor probe goes down. We hardly knew ye. Ryze is expanding now. Yes, indeed.
Going back to the 1200s BC or something.
I have to grab my temporary, my temporary fedora. We're going to have some sort of a Victorian cast here. No, okay, this isn't going to work. I'll do this for about 2 seconds, but then I'll get tired of it.
Anyways, guys, the reason why I'm a big, not so much of a fan of Protoss players going 3-gate expo, especially on Xel'Naga Caverns, is because yes, you're going to have a lot of sentries, and yes, you're going to be able to move out and grab your expansion. However, any Zerg that's paying attention can do a Roachling all-in on this map against 3-gate, and it is extremely difficult to hold off. And if Ryze is paying attention, I would expect him to possibly go for that attack.
And Perfect does manage to put down the Nexus, also dropping down the pylon behind that.
1-gate expand?
It was a 1-gate expand.
That's actually, incredibly enough, 1-gate expand is actually considered, and this is weird, it's actually considered safer than 3-gate expand because you get that extra probes out and you get that extra chrono boost out a little bit earlier, and then you get your gateways out later, but you will be able to get those units out and wall off with your gateways downstairs, and that's why 1-gate expand on this map is actually considered safer than 3-gate expand.
And there you are. The wall is in place, as you were hinting at before. I'll probably finish that with the pylon, maybe a forge there in just a second as well. And here we are. So we do have the 1-gate expand into 3 gates. It looks like we're setting ourselves up for a nice macro game. Unfortunately, Ryze was a little bit supply capped there, so he does clear that up with an Overlord. But he's pulled himself off of gas for quite a long period of time. So no tech incoming, maybe saving up for a macro hatch here in a second. He certainly does have a lot of resources sitting around.
Well, I wonder if he's going to throw a macro hatch, Cats, or if he's going to throw that hatchery in the 3rd, and we do have a Stargate coming up out of Perfect as well, so he's going to take to the skies After expanding, he will probably make a Void Ray out of that, maybe Void Ray Phoenix combination as well. And here's the Roach-Roin from Ryze. Now, I wonder if he's still going to go for a mass Roachling attack. It can work against One Gate Nexus as well, but the difficulty is that those 2 warp gates, rather than being placed in the main, are placed on the outside, so it's a lot less surface area to attack with. So we'll see if Ryze decides to do it or not.
And we do have the Robo facility coming down as well, so this isn't some sort of a 6-gate Stargate build or anything like that. The Robo is alongside. I'm curious to see what the first unit is. It is indeed a Void Ray. What does Ryze have in preparation for this? Well, the short answer is nothing. Yeah.
Well, he has Queens. Queens aren't bad against Void Rays, and if you have
singular Void Rays, you know, without Phoenix support, yeah.
If you have 3 Queens too, you can defend against Void Rays at either hatchery because that extra Queen can walk back and forth pretty quickly. But for now, Ryze doesn't really have that much anti-air, and he's making a lot of lings there. That's 10 lings coming out. So he's used a cycle now on pure Zerglings. So that, to me, says that he's a little bit concerned about the possible attack. This cycle may have been a little bit premature, but he is going to have some lings out right now, and I think that serves 2 purposes. He's going to break the rocks, leading to the 3rd, and he can control the map just a little bit with those lings.
And let's see, he is going to that 3rd base, which, as you mentioned before, he's taking down the destructible rocks to build a little access to, and he's going to layer tech. So we are going to have tech incoming, but that's not going to come before these Void Rays are ready to move out. There we go. Void Ray actually does take out the Overlord, so this is revealed. Now, layer tech is only halfway done, so even if Ryze wants to, he can't put up those Hydralisks quite yet. He's just going to have to rely. There we go. Evolution Chamber coming up, so we will see some Spore Crawlers here momentarily.
The funny thing too is whenever when I play Zerg and a Protoss builds a Void Ray and kills an Overlord, it usually tells me that they're not planning to harass all out with air. They're just building 1, possibly 2, to move around the map and pick off Overlords. So usually I don't get too much anti-air defense. I just rely mainly on Queens, and I don't know if we're going to see any Spore Crawlers go down. If we do, that would be certainly a very over-cautious style of play.
Ryze, though, is floating 1,000 minerals right now, so I mean, he's got to do something with those. Looks like it's going into a Spire for the time being. There we go. It was all allocated. Those Queens are going to deal with the Void Ray, but we have 10 drones, another hatchery, and a Spire coming up all at the same time.
Where's that Spire coming up? Is that coming up in the little 3 o'clock?
Ooh, Proxy Spire.
Yeah, well, the reason why you do that is to hide the Spire tech, no matter which way. Well, the thing is, the Protoss Air Forces could move around the right side and they could scout it, but Ryze is banking on Perfect not scouting that Spire. And what Ryze is going to do, I would imagine, is save up all his gas, all his minerals, and build a bunch of Mutalisks and try to surprise Perfect before Perfect has enough units out on the map.
And Perfect, though, he is going right into that. I mean, this almost seems like a game that we were seeing a couple of months ago. He's going right into that Void Ray Colossus with a strong gateway backbone. But this is interesting. The Spire's almost done. Look how many resources are banked. He's going to be able to put up so many air units at once. But my God, he is just praying he doesn't get attacked within the next minute. If he's able to pull this off, he's going to be just fine. But man, this is super, super risky.
He has a lot of minerals too, man. I mean, honestly, you don't want to have that many minerals because you can only spend as much gas as you can in Mutalisks as you have, and then translate that over to minerals. So if you have 1,000 gas, you can only spend 1,000 minerals in terms of Mutalisks. So he did invest most of that into Spine Crawlers, Overlords, Mutalisks, and he has +1 weapons on the way. So he's got only 9 mutas. That's not as much as I would have hoped to see him bring out.
There we are.
Yeah, there we go. 15. So this is going to be a pretty massive Air Force. And the element he has on his side right now is surprise. He's going to have to surprise Perfect and do a lot of damage.
And Perfect is going to start making his way across the map. Looks like he was leading with the Void Rays, so he's going to try and do a little bit of damage. But he sees all the Mutalisks. The Void Ray is going to fall.
Well, the Mutalisks have revealed themselves now, so Ryze's time here for the surprise is quickly closing. He has to do as much damage as possible before the appropriate units are built from Perfect, and I don't know if he's got enough to even deal with this. Where are his units on the ground? He's building 4 Spine Crawlers right now. He has 15 Mutalisks in the air, and he may have enough Mutalisks to deal with the Sentries and the Void Rays. It's going to be very, very close.
Yeah, but he doesn't have those Spine Crawlers. He was really banking on those to give him a hand. He doesn't have anything on the ground. He does have 24 Zerglings coming up. Yeah, those are pretty good transfusions going down, but it's still not enough. There are just way too many Stalkers, and the Void Ray here is about to be charged up on this hatchery. That's going to disappear quickly, and Ryze is watching his world crumble in front of him.
Yeah, the Zerg Swarm world is crumbling right now. The hatchery goes down, and the entire time those Zealots were just pounding away at the drones. I must have seen at least 10 drones die side from those Zealots, and Ryze has to engage here. He can't allow this Protoss push to continue undeterred, and it looks like Perfect is just going to be able to waltz his way right at the ramp, do a little ballerina dance, and he's going to laser beam his way right through the National, and I don't know how Ryze can deal with this.
I don't think he can deal with it at all.
I
don't think it's like, how can he? No, I think it's done.
Dude,
so
Perfect is going for the all kill, man.
He's got 3. He still only would need 2 more after this, and there we go. We're just waiting on the GG now out of Ryze. There
GG.
it is.
Wow.